To continue with Isabel. Isabel was the second case that was discovered right after Anna. She had almost the same scenario just like Anna. She was also born to an unmarried mom, but the difference is that her mother was deaf. So Isabel and her mom were locked up in a room, a dark room, away from the rest of the family. When Isabel's mom escaped with Isabel from the family's house, Isabel was 6. So the deaf mom and Isabel stayed locked up in the dark room for 6 years. They also got minimal food, but they couldn't leave the room. When Isabel was found, she, of course, had malnutrition. She was physically ill because she did not eat properly. And because she was kept in a dark room, she had a certain illness in her bones. She had a certain deformity in her bones. When she stood up, her legs were so bowed, were so tilted like a bow, that both feet were facing each other, like the tip of the shoes were facing each other. Her legs were bowed to the outside, that her feet pointed at each other. This is a condition that happens when your bones is not or does not get enough vitamin D or sunlight. So because she stayed for 6 years in a dark room, she had a very severe illness condition. Of course, she couldn't move properly and she couldn't walk properly. Now, she could not, of course, talk because her mom was deaf, so they only communicated together with animal-like sounds and animal-like actions. Both of them reacted very hostile or showed a lot of hostility towards strangers because they did not see anyone for 6 years, especially the baby, which is Isabel, especially men. When Isabel was first discovered, the sociologists and psychiatrists observing her thought that she will have a learning disability because she started with an IQ that was near 0. But they started an intensive program of rehabilitation just like the one they did with Anna. Surprisingly, after only a few months, she could finish talking in complete sentences. And in less than a year, she could finish speaking, and the person in front of her would understand what she wants. 2 years later, she mastered all the skills that a 6-year-old would have. So she was only ahead 2 years. She was 8, but she mastered the skills of 6. So she was a normal 8-year-old girl, but a little bit behind. Compared to Anna, this was extreme progress. She was happy, she was intelligent, she was energetic. After a lot of intensive program with vitamins and nutrition, uh, she could walk a little bit properly, but the disease in her bones did not disappear. At age 14, she participated in all the school activities and she became the same level as a 14-year-old, which means she went back to a normal child. Now, both Isabel and Anna were left isolated for 6 years. What reasons can you think of that would let Anna not respond to the program and die out of depression, while Isabel responded quickly and after 8 years she went back to being a totally normal person? What reasons do you have for this? Basan?
I think because Isabel had been staying with her mother, so she had her comfort and her affection. However, Anna was left alone all by herself, so she didn't have any affection from her mother.
Excellent. Isabel is the case that supports Harlow's second experiment, which talks about socialization and physical bonding, or socialization and emotional need. Isabel, yes, she was left in a dark room, but she was left with her mom. The mom accompanied her. Of course, at a lot of times, the mom would hug her if the baby wanted to. She held her. But Anna, on the other hand, did not see nor emotional needs or physical needs. So this is the only reason why Isabel managed to go back into a normal child while Anna failed to do so and died. Do you understand the difference between Anna and Isabel? Grade 12, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Jeannie was the last case, or was the exceptional case, because when she was discovered, she was 14 years old. But this time, Jeannie was not born to an unmarried mom, but instead, Jeannie's dad did not like her. When she was born, the father was not prepared for a baby, and fighting with his wife, which is the mom ran away from the house, so he decided to lock down the child in a room. Jeannie was left alone in a room from the time she was 2 years old up until she was 14 years old. During those 12 years, she was tied to a potty chair. You all know what's a potty chair, right?
Yes.
Yes.
She was tied to a potty chair so that he doesn't have to let her go always to the toilet or change for her. And she was left to sit alone or locked up alone in a room with no one to talk to and nothing to do. When she was discovered, Jeannie was 14 years old. She was only around 30 kilos in weight, which is the body of a 7-year old, a thin 7-year old. Her mental capacity or her mental structure was that of a 1-year old. She did not behave like a human at all. She also made sounds, but because Jeannie's father always punished her for making any sound, she did not show any signs of any emotional activity. She did not yell or try to talk like Isabel or make any animal sounds. She did not cry. During all those 12 years, the father never gave her solid food. It was only stuff to drink or to swallow. So she did not know how to chew. She had a primitive behavior. She did not know how to walk properly because she was not taught. She acted like animals in terms of movement. So when the team of rehabilitation took her, this was even harder because Jeannie was 14. She passed the time of learning. It was more than Anna and Isabel because Anna and Isabel were discovered at the age of 6, which is usually where you start going to school and you start learning things. But Jeannie was way behind. But nevertheless, she was happy to go outside into the light. She started responding and she started to show interest in learning. Jeannie, after 1 year, tried to put some words and phrases. She could read, but she could not form words. They taught her how to read and write. She can read what's in front of her, but she cannot express what she wants with complete words because she did not learn when she was young how to express her thoughts into words. Whatever she learns, she can say. She's more like a parrot. So she repeats, she reads, she writes. But
Um,
yes,
can you please repeat the part about the language because I didn't hear?
okay. The difference between Jeannie and the two other girls is that when Jeannie was discovered, She was way ahead, or the learning time was way behind. So, yes, she learned how to read. Yes, she learned how to write. She knows the letters. She knows how to blend, but she cannot make up her own words. She cannot make up her own sentences. There was a gap between how to form what I want and what I'm thinking of into words. There was a certain gap, the gap which the sociologists later on concluded that they get from dealing with people or socialization. Yes, she can read and write. She will read the book in front of her. She will understand it, but she cannot express what she wants. If she is happy, for example, or if she wants something, she will say I, and then she will point at, for example, phone. She does not know how to put words into sentences. She does not know how to speak properly. So they put her in a rehabilitation center with disabled people. She managed to live there for a couple of years, but unfortunately, after quite some time, Jeannie discovered that she will not be normal as the other people, even though she wants to, even though she tries, and she went into a depression phase and disappeared. Some people say that they hid her in a mental institution because at that time she was under the eyes of the press and everyone was following what happened to her. And some people say that out of depression, she asked to stay alone in this disability center. And no one knows how it ended. This is it. No one knows when did she die or how did she die. So Jeannie was a third case about isolation, but it both showed isolation, socialization, and it combined both experiments together. It showed that there's a certain period of time where a person can learn and grasp things. Once this time has passed, the person can only go through certain progress. Do you have any questions regarding the three cases, Anna, Isabel, and Jeannie?
No.
No.
Do you see the reading question? Can you see the last question here? Can you all see the screen? The
Yes.
question says,
Yes.
how were the cases of Anna, Isabel, and Jeannie similar, and how were they different? This is the homework that you have to do. You have to go back and read Anna, Isabel, and Jeannie. It's due Thursday. I know Thursday is off. I'm not asking anything except that to submit it. So it's due Thursday by 2 p.m., just like a normal school day. I need you to.
What's the page?
It's just a question. What's the page in the book? Let me see. 104. The question says, how are the cases of Anna, Isabel, and Jeannie similar, and how are they different? You are free to write down the similarities and differences, whether it's in a table, whether it's in a Venn diagram, or whether it's in a web diagram. Whatever way you want to show how are they similar and or how are they different, it's up to you. But you have to go read the three cases, Anna, Isabel, and Jeannie, write down the similarities in everything, whether it's in the condition, the life, how were they discovered, when were they discovered, who did they stay with, any similarity that you find, you write it down, and any difference you find, you write it down. Do you understand?
Miss Minna.
Yes, Marina.
So Isabel was the only case that didn't develop depression.
Yes. Do you have any reasons why? Or do you have any reasons to support why?
Yes, because she stayed with her mother.
Yes.
But Anna, Anna did progress. Then why did she die of depression?
Because she did not progress as the rest of the kids. There was a certain limit. Anna was left alone. She did not see, for example, Isabel saw her mom walk. Maybe she did not know how to walk, but she already has the image of her mom walking, so she can imitate if she wants to. Okay, same thing with human
Okay,
actions, carrying, climbing, running. She saw someone to imitate. She had backup. She had comfort. Her mom held her when she was a baby. She carried her when she cried. So there were certain things that Anna missed. Anna saw no one for 6 years. She was a baby. No one taught her that if you, for example, if you're hungry, you need to cry, or if you're a little bit older, you need to ask to go to the toilet. No one taught her anything. So it's like she was born 6 years old. But looking at a normal 6 year old, that normal 6 year old can perfectly run, talk. Some of them can read a little bit, express what they want, go to the toilet, and she's not the same. Out of interest and out of curiosity, she started copying them with the support of the uh, doctors and the carers that were with her. But there was a certain limit that she can reach. When she was behind, when she became 2 years behind, she recognized that she won't be the same as them. She can dress herself, but her fingers, no one taught her from when she was young how to button or unbutton the shirt. So she realized that she is different. And she's only 8 years old. So she's only grade one or two. So she got depressed that she's not the same like the other kids. She cannot run properly. Okay, there were certain actions that she could not do like the rest of the kids. Okay, while Isabel had the mom support, even though she did not support much, but she had this figure by her side. Along with the treatment and along with the other medical and rehabilitation support, she managed to do it. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Do you all have any questions? Grade 12, do you have any questions?
No. No, thank you.
Okay. Please don't forget that this homework is due Thursday. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.